what would that look like? What would that feel like? And I think that that's kind of a fun thing too. But you're bringing up this point like where it's like a plot point or like something to like reel us in. Like it's more like the why does that thing reel us in? You know, like why is that violence something that like gets us excited, you know, in whatever way? And why is that something like that we want to watch? Do we want to watch it? I don't know. And like and then how it's handled after. Like, yeah, I think I would be so curious to have that conversation with some of our filmmakers, actually. And, you know, like how much are they trying to create the world that they want to see versus the world that's around us to give us an opportunity to reflect on who we are, right? Because either you can make a film that shows the worst of humanity, and then it's like a mirror being held up and being like, see how awful we are? Like, don't you want to do better? Or you can create a film that is not the mirror, it's the ideal, and then that starts conversations of like, oh, how do we get there? That felt really good, right? Like, yes, bad things happen and we can address them in a healthy way. Yeah.
Yeah, there's I read comics and there's this very big archetype called women in refrigerators. Basically, there was a very popular superhero and he came home and he found that his wife was killed and put in his refrigerator, and that made him become a stronger superhero, give him more depth, give him more, basically make him more interesting. And that became kind of like a common thing that started becoming more and more prominent in comics.
Excuse me, you bring up a lot of really good points and a lot of really hopeful points. Media definitely shapes us. I definitely think there's a responsibility of, you know, caretakers to try to moderate some of the content that young people are watching. Like there's so little control with, you know, social media and everything. It's we're just sort of like really in a glut, right? Like there's just so much out there. I think you bring up the most important point of the need for better media literacy, especially of young people. There, I read something recently, like 94% of high schoolers, almost 2000 were surveyed, said like how badly they need media literacy, like between fake news and real news, disinformation, misinformation, actual information. They just don't have the tools to sift through it all. And quite honestly, from my talking with teachers and things in different schools, teachers aren't living in the same social media sphere that their students are, so they don't even know what's going on, right? And then that goes for parents as well. So we're definitely like in a new frontier with information technology, of course. But yeah, I mean, film definitely is one of the most important things that can harm us and